this morning, I don't know what the fuck happened, but like I woke up at 6 or 7, and I just drained like the Hoover fucking dam, and like it was going for like a solid 30 seconds, and then like I was about to go, and then like I don't know, like another chamber of my bladder like lifted like its seal, and then like a whole another like 15 to 20 seconds came out.
What if
Like
that pee's been stuck in there since like you were 8 years old?
that'd be fucking cool.
And every time that you were just like uncomfortable, you're like, man, I don't feel great in this moment right now. It's just because of that like prehistoric piss that's been, cooped up in your kidneys.
Been feeling disconnected now.
I get money, know I'm reckless now.
I get high, coming off the ground. This life is a prison, someone let me out.
You know, Jimmy John's offers fast delivery because they only deliver within a 5-minute radius of their locations. Isn't that fucked up?
Really?
Yeah, dude, I'm serious. Like they only deliver to 5 minutes away from like you better be fucking fast. If I could like walk to your store, if I could run to your store in roughly the same amount of time it would take for you to drive,
That's some bitch ass
because
marketing.
stop
Man.
signs and shit.
That's
It is some bitch ass marketing. Well, hey everybody, welcome back to Sandwich Talk. This is where me and my best buddy Mikey talk about sandwiches for 30-minute periods of time. If you thought you were clicking on something different, you would be mistaken. This is a sandwich-based podcast where we talk about only sandwiches, and that's it.
Yeah, and I like PB&Js.
Mikey likes PB&Js.
Extra
and,
peanut butter, extra jelly, extra crust. Actually, in fact, give me the slices of bread at the end of the loaf and put them together, and just give me like an inch of peanut butter and an inch of jelly, and I'll be in heaven. It'll be like an orgasm in my mouth.
Mikey's not great for this type of podcast because he only likes one type of sandwich. In fact, he won't even eat bread sliced outside of the context of a peanut butter and jelly. We've talked about this at length.
I actually only have eaten PB&Js and BLTs. I only recently started eating BLTs within the last 6 months, 8 months. They're good. They're not like anything. They're just like tomato and lettuce and bacon. Like that's fucking nothing.
Oh yeah, I mean, but the complexities of a peanut butter and jelly, you can't beat it.
I mean,
the peanut butter and the jelly, like
peanut
I
butter.
don't know how scientists could come up with anything better.
Peanut butter
really.
makes the gains. Makes the gains. You gotta eat peanut butter to gain the gains.
It's the only way, really. That's the only way. Like all these bodybuilders out here saying like, "Oh, you got to eat chicken and that's it, chicken and rice and do a bunch of squats." Like you got to eat some Reese's peanut butter cups and you're going to have a big old butt and some big biceps. That's the key, kids. That's the key.
I mean, peanut butter's great. I used to hate it. Actually, I would like when I was little, I used to put like one slither on one side of the sandwich of peanut butter and one slither of jelly on the other side. And if my dad made my sandwiches and he put like an inch of peanut butter on, I'd cry. I'd be like, "Dad, no!" And then I'd squish my sandwich up in my tinfoil and just throw it out, which is a fucking waste of food.
A complete waste of food.
I literally would not eat lunch.
And you were also wasting time eating basically just bread. Just flavored bread that you've slightly flavored with one swipe of peanut butter. That's disgusting.
That's one of my little brother's main food groups is a fucking slice of gluten-free bread. Toasted.
Gross. Fucking gnarly.
I want toast. He just gets a fucking piece of toast. With no butter.
That's kind of gross, man. I mean, toast is better than just bread.
Bread, like sliced bread, kind of sucks plain.
Yeah, it does. Like it's not anything.
Kind of really sucks plain.
It's not great, but honestly, toast. I can see that just with the texture and everything. Toasted bread, nothing on it. That's not a bad thing.
Yo, you know what sandwich I haven't had in years?
I thought you only ate 2 sandwiches.
I forgot about the holy
the mystery third sandwich.
Yeah. But I can't eat it now due to dietary issues because if I ate this one, it'd probably dropkick me in my fucking bladder and intestines and all that shit, is a grilled cheese sandwich. Which
Oh,
is not.
grilled cheese. Some good stuff.
It's kind of like a sandwich. I don't know. Grilled cheese.
What else would you call it?
It's like calling cereal a soup.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
I mean, it's a sandwich, but like
It's 2 pieces of bread with contents. It's about as much of a sandwich as a fucking
sandwiches are
peanut butter and jelly.
bitches. Sandwiches are such a bitch food.
Why is a peanut butter and jelly more of a sandwich than a grilled cheese?
Because it's cold.
Why are sandwiches cold?
I don't know. Okay, you already
This is
won.
sandwich talk. We're on like the 31st fucking episode, and you can't tell me a good goddamn reason why sandwiches are only cold. I mean, I'm ashamed of you, Mikey. I'm ashamed of you.
Don't make
I need to find a
cry
new co-host.
on camera.
I'm gonna go find a new co-host. I'm either gonna get Jimmy John himself
or
or
Jared
just
from Subway.
Jared from Subway. We've been in talks. I can't really get in touch with him. His legal team just keeps hitting me back and says, stop sending us emails to asking for Jared to be on your podcast. He's not interested. He's in prison. But I don't really know. I think I'm just going to keep sending them on the daily.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. If you just email somebody every single day, they'll eventually just have to do your podcast. You know, that's my Kanye West strategy right now, is just like, let me email Kanye like 36 times a day, and eventually he's going to have to, especially if I do it from different emails, so he can't be like, all right, I'm going to report this one specific one to spam, like just like different ones hitting him. That's what I do all day. I just make new email addresses and I email Kanye West, and I'm just like, be on my podcast. And he's never once responded, but you know, eventually one of those is going to crack through.
I hope we get Joe Rogan on our podcast one day.
I hope I have no interest in getting, I mean, it would get views, I'm sure, but I don't really have much interest of getting Joe Rogan on the podcast. Like, what am I going to talk to that guy about that he hasn't talked about on the podcast already? Like, if you're that deep, I get why his show is like mainly an interview type show at this point, because like, what else are you going to say? You've said everything that you can say
He's got
about
thousands
basically
of episodes
everything.
out there. Motherfucker's got content. He's got a continent of content. And I haven't
That's
even.
one way to put it.
Yeah, that was clever, wasn't it?
That was super clever. I think we should end the show on that. I
I
don't know if I've never heard anything more clever in my life.
I don't think I've said anything that clever in like a couple weeks. In a couple weeks' time. Oh shit! That just reminded me. My crystals are outside, and they're probably getting bird shit on them.
Cool. Awesome. Does that destroy their magic?
I would think it would actually bring them more power, because bird shit is like living sustenance. That
Right.
They ate like a berry or something that came from Mother Nature.
Okay.
It processed through their natural body,
Yeah.
and it came out the other side with
Yeah.
like, you know, nitrogen and nucleus and maximus
And nucleus. Yeah.
and phosphorus and whatever other chemicals are in your poop.
Yeah.
So if it got on my crystals, then that living matter will transfer into my crystals, much like if you put your crystals into salt, sea salt, or like brown rice.
Uh-huh.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop looking at me like that.
No, I'm just listening. I mean, you're making like all sorts of sense, and I can't. Like, I'm riveted. I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
I don't know. I'll send you one of these days, maybe. What do you want? A clear quartz?
I would like a clear conscience
Oh, that's
because of all the things that I did as a young man.
Do you got something to say to me?
Look, I would just like to say publicly, I'm sorry to Brian and his family. Well, I guess I can't say I'm sorry to Brian. He's not around no more. But I'm sorry to Brian's family. I
What?
didn't know. I thought that it would be just a fun little birthday prank. Didn't know it was gonna go that far off the rails. Clearly, I was
What are you
wrong.
talking about?
Honestly, fuck them. Fuck them. Brian's family was a bunch of dicks anyway. They were the type of people that didn't let you wear shoes in the house. I don't dig that.
I like wearing shoes in the house.
I fuck with wearing shoes in the house. Like, yay, this is my house too, bitches.
But honestly, it makes it like, if you think about it, like I work in a glass shop. I'm probably stepping on glass all day. That's not nice to have in your house. It's not. It's not. Just imagine all the shit you step on. Like, I'm not a germaphobe, okay? Like, I'll be okay. But like, also, I think about like if I pee in my bathroom and like some of it splashes on the floor and I step on that and then I step on the yoga mat and I'm like rubbing my face in my yoga mat. Like, I'm like, damn, do I just have like piss and shit in like my face now?
Here's a good question. If a germaphobe is somebody that's, you know, got this thing with germs, what do you call somebody that has like a hate or like, some sort of feels some type of way about Germans? What's their name?
Nazophobe? No, that's because that's Nazis and Germans are different.
Yeah. I mean, slightly.
I think you call him a dermaphobe.
A dermaphobe?
No, a germaphobe.
A germaphobe? You think it's just the same?
Maybe you have to add the N, a Germanphobe.
A Germanphobe? I don't know.
An Aryanphobe.
I just think that's like really a flaw in the English language, is that we don't have a word for like people that don't like German
Well,
people.
if someone who doesn't like a Jewish person, that's anti-Semitic, right? Where the fuck
Right.
does that come from?
Well, because
What is
Jewish people are the Semitic people. I don't know what that exactly means, but they're Semites.
Oh, well, yeah, I just
You know?
I don't get it. Anti-Sem. Where the fuck did that come from? The Bible?
It's I mean, it's probably based on something. Well, I mean, like, because they're Semites. I don't know. It's something Hebrew, because what's the word? They have a word for people that aren't Jewish. Like the slang
Pagans.
term, not pagans. The slang term is goy.
What the fuck? You pulling out this ancient history knowledge out your ass?
No, that's just like a Jewish slang term. It's like that dude's a goy. He's not a Jew. But it's also, there's like a more technical term for people, what they consider, or their name for people that aren't Jewish.
My boss calls me Schmendrick.
Schmendrick?
Yeah.
Does he just not know your name?
I had no clue what that meant, but then I googled it, and it's a Jewish term for a fool. So I'm a
Oh.
Schmendrick. You're a Schmendrick.
Huh.
Yeah.
The Jews are interesting, man. They got some shit going on.
They
got
really
some
do.
shit going on. You know what's crazy about Jewish people?
It's like they
Like-
can't eat stuff like kosher.
Well, I mean, it depends on what type of Judaism you practice, but the people that live in this country they have their own accent, because like the Italian American accent is based pretty much off the Italian accent, but the Jewish accent is not based off like an Israeli accent. It's like, because Jews have kind of just historically been chased around from place to place.
They
so
got
their
the fucking short end of the stick.
consistently. So their accent has just kind of been morphed over time. And so like if you go up to New York and you hear the Jewish accent, it's like that doesn't sound like anything else. That doesn't sound like any other like dialect. And it's because it's specifically theirs.
That's weird as hell.
It's so specifically theirs.
How the fuck does that even happen? That's
And
really
there's
weird.
And I mean, I heard somebody on a podcast talking about Jewish families and how a lot of them are so closed off to the rest of society. Like a lot of the religious groups are, they get really insular. But there's kids growing up in America, raised as Americans, that speak Hebrew as their first language.
Huh.
Because that's just how they grow up. I get learning Spanish as your first language living in America, because there's a lot of Spanish speakers, a lot of communities that are primarily Spanish speakers, but Hebrew, basically, it's a dead fucking language. So it's crazy that that would be the first one you teach your kid. To me, just to me.
Well,
I get heritage.
They'd
but
only
come
speak
on.
that in the Jewish community, wouldn't they? Then
Mm-hmm.
not at the mosque, at the temple mostly.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Well, also, like, if you live in
L'chaim.
a community of just Jewish people, then it sort of makes sense.
So did the Amish speak that language then? A lot of the
Am-
Amish?
Amish are totally different. That's a Christian group.
There's Jewish Amish people.
I mean, I don't think
Like
so.
with the long ass
Yeah, it's a Christian group.
no, with the long ass what do you call these things?
That's not.
What do you
Jesus
call these
Christ.
things? What are
Mikey.
these? What are
Mikey,
these?
That's not Amish people.
There's Jewish people that are Amish with the
That's not Amish. That's a different thing from Amish.
You're pissing me off, man. You're pissing me off because I know I'm right and I know you're wrong.
That's not Amish. Amish and it's fucking the traditional Jews. Jesus Christ, now I can't remember goddamn terms.
The Yiddish. No.
No.
What the fuck does that mean? No.
It's the what's the word? If I don't know why I'm forgetting this word. I'm sure if you're watching or listening, you're like, it's obviously this fucking word, but it's the more traditional way of being a Jew. Fuck. I literally turned off my phone because my ringer went off and like with a text alarm, and so I was like, oh, let me turn it off real quick, and now I have to actually Google something.
Hey Siri, are Amish people Jewish? Oh shit! Oh god damn it!
Oh, Mikey knows he's right, knows I'm wrong.
The Amish are a group of traditional Christian church fellows with the Swiss. I thought they were Jewish. I thought some of them were Jewish.
It's a Christian group, I'm pretty sure.
Swiss German. Whatever. Fuck that shit. I could have sworn they were Jews.
Orthodox. God fucking damn it. I literally was going to look it up. I was typing it in, and then I was like, Orthodox. Like, I didn't have to look it up. It just came to me as I was like right at the fucking finish line.
A little too late there, Seymour.
Little too late. No, Orthodox. That's what you're talking about. Is Orthodox Jews.
Oh, okay.
That's the ones that follow they follow the Torah to like the nth degree, and what? Go ahead.
Did Mormons get like put on hold like during COVID? Like, did they just have to stop doing their Mormon thing of going door to door?
That's a good question.
I haven't seen a Mormon in a long time. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's been Mormons I've seen, but like, you know what I'm talking about, like the white shirt, black pants, black tie.
Right, bikes.
Yeah, helmets.
It's interesting because I get in their religion they're trying to spread the word of Mormonism. That's like part of it. It's like Jehovah's Witnesses, but I sort of get that you could stop knocking on people's doors. It's like, hey, there's a safety concern. Let's not do this for a while. But in the Mormon faith, when you turn 18, you go on a mission for a year. That's like part of it is you go on your mission. And you go out to like another country or another place completely, and you spread the word for a year, and you work there for a year and do your Mormon thing. So there's like a whole generation of Mormons that didn't get to go on their mission.
Wow.
Which that's interesting to me because like, how do they reconcile that in the Mormon community? Is there just going to be a bunch of 20-year-olds going on their mission, or do they skip it?
So yeah, like when COVID ends, is there like a fucking wave of 4 generations of people?
Right.
Just, like you're gonna see like
dude, they're doubling down on door knocking. They are knocking on doors.
Oh my god, they're gonna be like fucking 3 knocks a day. Like,
yo, my buddy shared this line with me. I don't know what song it's from. I'm gonna have to look it up later, but like it's from an ASAP Ferg song, and he goes, I'm coming through the door like Jehovah's with keys. I'm like, that's a fucking crazy bar, man. Like, if Jehovah's had keys, they'd be in your room,
Yeah.
dude. They'd be in your room throwing pamphlets at you.
so like if you're a Mormon, like does it just suck like getting like turned down like a lot, or maybe you can have some conversations with people like more often than I would think, like people are actually like, yeah, let's have a chat about Jesus Christ.
I think you just get used to it. Because maybe there's some people that are like, all right, I'll talk to you, come in, have some lemonade type shit, but like I doubt there's that many that convert people on the doorstep like that. I doubt that happens.
Yeah,
often.
like what? Like, I've seen the light.
Yeah, can you imagine if like a dude just came up, knocked on your door, and was like, "Hey, have you heard of Jesus Christ?" And they're like, "No."
Tell me more. Please.
I haven't actually, so come on in. I want to hear all about it.
I would love to talk to a Mormon. I just love to hear his perspective, and maybe throw my perspective. There's this guy in my city who constantly stands at this bus stop in front of this little shopping center, and he's always got this Bible on the corner of a street, like a 4-way intersection, just pointing at the Bible, like screaming whatever he is. I talked to him a couple times just because, I like to talk to anybody and everybody. And this is pre-COVID, obviously.
That is the best undercover prostituting method I've ever heard of. Stand by the bus station with a Bible. Nobody's fucking with you. The cops are like, I'm not talking to that nut job. Turns out he's just sucking dicks behind the dumpster. Making a fortune out there.
He's got a fake page in his Bible where he opens up to it and shows to someone who's interested. And he's like, "Do you want me to suck your pee-pee?" $10.
Yeah, and like all the businessmen in the area, they know about him. They're like, "Oh, have you hooked up with Bible guy?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, that guy that's a bargain."
Anyways, I talked to him and he's just saying that he's doing his mission. And I'm like, I told him, you can spread the word of God by doing what you think you're supposed to do. So, like, let's say me, like, I think I'm supposed to make music, or I think I'm supposed to make content. That's me spreading God's word by living my truth. And I told him that, and I don't think that got to him. And we went our separate ways.
You think this is spreading God's truth, or is God's word
Somewhat.
by us on this podcast talking about buttholes for 30 minutes at a time sometimes? I mean
Somewhat.
that if
Somewhat. I like
it
talking to
wouldn't.
people though, random strangers, and then like people are like, "Oh my god, why would you talk to that person?" I'm like, "It's a fucking person, dog." Like if there's like a homeless person outside of a restaurant, I literally sat with people and like talked with them for like half an hour at a time, just like having a conversation, just because they're people. Like why the fuck would you think someone is less than a person?
And then you start like talking to dogs, and they're like, "Mikey, why are you talking to him?" And it's like, "He's a person." And they're like, "All right, we got to get Mikey some help. He's been talking to so many people. He's lost all fucking ability to identify people."
I smoked a J with a homeless person once. When my family was at a restaurant, we were all at a restaurant.
Did you bring the J or did he have one?
I think, what the fuck happened? Either she had it or somebody, we were talking and then somebody like came around, like walking down the street and like gave us the roach kind of.
Yeah.
And then we just started hitting it. Also something that was just so far-fetched to do now, but like because of COVID, but like before, like why the fuck not?
Oh yeah, before, hepatitis wasn't even a thing. You couldn't get herpes. Like none of those things existed until like 2020.
You know, homeless people, I've seen a lot of homeless people like fuck with their dog heavily. And like that's not a problem. Like, having a dog companion, especially when you're homeless, is probably very beneficial to your sanity. But also the fact that like, if you're caring about your dog that much when you yourself have no living condition, like it brings a concern to me. But also if you're happy, you're happy. Like but I've just noticed that homeless people care about their dogs so fucking much when they have nothing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because that's what they have. That's their friend. That's their partner.
Yeah.
Like dude, if I was homeless
If
and you hit me up and you were like, all right, look, you could either have this fucking, I don't know, you could either have $1,000 or this dog. $1,000 is not going to make you not homeless.
no.
I don't care where you live. So I would pick the dog because it's like, look, it's more of a liability than anything else. You got to feed him, but to have somebody I know that gives a shit about me.
Yeah, they do give a shit about you. They trust you and they somewhat rely on you.
Yeah,
Pretty
no,
much.
that's important, man. That's real important.
I'd take the $1,000 and then find a mutt somewhere.
I'm saying in this weird hypothetical
Yeah,
where it's
that's
like
it.
you can't get a dog if you take the 1,000.
Dogs are just outlawed.
Dogs are outlawed to homeless people.
Fuck
If
that.
the cops see the homeless with a dog, they just fucking shoot on sight, just gun them down.
That's not okay. Oh
It's
my
a
God.
hypothetical. It's a hypothetical scenario.
I fucking saw this video yesterday having to do with cops because you mentioned that. I fucking got my blood boiling. Is that these fucking cops had this drug sting in California, and they got 21 students across from 3 different high schoolers, and like 9 of the 21 kids were labeled as special needs kids, and basically it was a 21 Jump Street style of operation where they had like undercovers like going to the schools acting like they're fucking students, which is fucking weird, but like so this one kid in particular what the video was about was this autistic kid, and
I've seen
oh my
that.
God, that shit pissed me off, bro. He had no friends growing up. He has no friends, and then the cop befriended him going into this school year, and fucking kept on nagging him, and along with other kids, like, "Hey man, can I get some weed? You know where to get some weed? You know where to get some weed? Like, can I get some weed today? You got something that you got that for me? You got weed for me today? Can I get some weed? Where can I get some weed?" For like fucking 5 different kids, and they weren't even druggies, like at least, and
No,
especially
they didn't know where to get weed. That was like the crazy thing about it is the kid. I watched the same thing. He didn't know where to even get weed, so he had to fucking find some random place to get weed.
yeah, the autistic kid got it from a dispensary, paid a homeless person to go inside the dispensary and get it for him, gave him 0.6 for $20 because the
Yeah.
cop gave him $20 to get the weed, which none of this makes sense. But
That was a long time ago though. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's not like horrible, but I'd be surprised if that still stands on that kid's record at all.
no, I think it got off his record. But okay, to finish the story is that the kid got him 0.6 grams of weed, and California has a zero drug tolerance.
Our cameras just died at like around the same time, so we had to fucking put a cut in here. I'll do that later just to let you folks know.
So they got zero tolerance against drugs in school grounds. And this kid, they all get fucking felony charges, which is baffling because in Virginia, if you got a first marijuana charge, even if you're selling, you get a first offenders program. And basically, if you get a felony, that'll be a misdemeanor to no charge at all. And for selling, he didn't even sell a fucking 0.6. Like, he gave it to his buddy. And the saddest thing was that he's never had a friend. And so he's got this friend, and it's like a fucking fire that he has. And he needs to keep it going, or else, he's never had this friend. He doesn't want to lose his friendship, so he's going to do whatever to fucking keep this friendship. And of course he's going to try to help his friend out who wants weed, who keeps on nagging him.
Yeah, no, that's why it's never gonna stand. It's never gonna, like, obviously it's gonna get taken off the kid's record. Like there's just
But the
the-
effect
at
that
the
would
end
have on him,
yeah, no, of course,
that is
of
so
course.
fucked up.
No, it's fucked up. It's fucked up.
I had my blood
it's far
boiling.
from as nuts as it sounds. It's far from the worst thing the war on drugs has done. Like
I'm sure.
in individual case, even there's a lot worse things that the war on drugs has accomplished, namely the prison industrial complex. How it's basically created a new form of legal slavery
Yeah.
for people of color in this country. But
That's
let's
so
not talk
fucking
about that because
terrible.
neither of us are experts, and we probably can't bring anything new to the conversation. I don't know.
I like the part in the video where they showed the fucking police station, and it just looks so fucking beautiful. Like, beautiful architecture lined with palm trees, beautiful, like, flooring outside of it. Like, it was like almost like an architectural masterpiece. Because fucking money just goes there. And money gets spent there, and they just get fucking money from the government. And it pisses me off.
Yeah, a lot of people get money from the government.
But
Namely, everybody in the country that pays taxes this year and last year. You get your stimulus?
I don't think I get one. I think I'm a dependent.
Did you file taxes?
My mom files my taxes for me.
Dude, file your own fucking taxes.
I want
Come on.
to. She's like fucking babying me. I want to learn. I'm 22. Like, what the fuck?
It's not hard. I mean,
I'm
just
sure
go
it's
on-
not. I'm sure it's a bitch.
literally go on TurboTax.
Wait, does that mean I get a stimulus or no?
I mean, probably not if your mom did your taxes for you and claimed you as a dependent. No, but
Well, then why did that bitch claim me?
probably so she can get your fucking stimulus money, and it's also more of a tax break for her if she has more dependents. The more dependents you have, the more bigger
Yeah,
tax.
but
break
I want
you
my
get.
1400.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, but I mean,
Why are you an independent? You literally live at home.
yeah, I know. I mean, I'm a dependent. We're dependents in the same way.
I don't even want to think about this shit. I got my blood boiling already like a week ago. I'm like, God damn it. And whatever.
No, I mean, my dad just doesn't. I did my own taxes. My dad doesn't claim me as a dependent, and I just get my fucking money. Did you get your tax return at least?
No. When does that come in?
It's supposed to be rolling. I mean, it's been late for a lot of people because the IRS has been so goddamn backed up. I've been talking to a lot of people about this, how some people are getting it right now. I got mine already, but some people are getting it like right fucking now. Some people are getting it, way later. You definitely should do it, like file your taxes early in order to get it earlier. But
Yeah, I'm gonna pull my mom and do it the day before it's due. It's like I wanted. That's the thing. That shit.
has she not done it yet?
that shit runs in my blood where it's like, my mom's got so long to do something and she'll wait to the day before, much like how I've done that in every single like paper I've ever written.
Yo, ask your mom if she's filed your taxes.
She's not. No.
If she hasn't, don't fucking tell her if she's gonna get mad about it. But like, just go on TurboTax and do it. Like, you can do that.
Is
You
it
can just
free?
Go on. Yes. This is not a fucking sponsored TurboTax ad,
Sponsored by
the way.
TurboTax. File your taxes by
This is
them.
sponsored by Jimmy John's. But no, not a TurboTax sponsorship. But yeah, anybody out there that thinks taxes are hard, because I get it. Like, until this year, I was the same way. I didn't understand how they worked or how to do them. I thought it was something you had to learn. It's not something you have to learn at all. Go on TurboTax and put in your fucking W-2. Most jobs have a job number in the W-2 that they give you that you can just type in, and then it'll immediately come up all the information. You don't even have to type in anything. And then it tells you what you should receive. It files them for you, and then it fucking money shows up in your account. Bada bing, bada boom. It's easy.
Carson McGregor's a tax specialist.
It's just they've made
Taxation
it so
extraordinaire.
They've made it so easy. They've made
Uncle
it so
Sam's
easy
bitch.
these days. Uncle Sam paid me, bro.
Uncle Sam, get on your knees for Uncle Sam.
Let's be honest here. Let's be honest, everybody. Uncle Sam did not pay any of us. We worked, earned money, and it is our money that we earned, and he just gave it back because he's like, you guys are broke as fuck, and I feel bad taking your money from you.
Did you see those videos like? People just always like, what you gonna do with your stimmy check? Like, bitch, I'm gonna pay my fucking bills with my stimmy check. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. Some people are good.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's getting it. That's the thing, is everybody's getting it. And also, a lot of those are memes, and people are just being like, oh, I'm gonna do some irresponsible shit with it. The only good one I see.
Because I'm
the only good one. Only good one I've seen is somebody posted like me at a strip club knowing I only have $1,400 in my account, and it's like talking to the stripper, and it's like, girl, I can take you away from here. I'm like, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Everybody's gonna be going big baller.
I do like some of the satirical memes where I see one where someone's at McDonald's. Have you seen the McDonald's one where they're like, okay, so that'll be $2.99 for your fries, and you're like, the guy's like, excuse me, fries? I said the franchise. $1,400 big baller.
No, it's to go on a more serious topic. I didn't want to talk about nothing serious at all today, but I really think Andrew Yang is the guy that should have been elected president, because he's the only fucking dude that had this idea to be like, hey, can't everybody get money on a monthly basis? Like, can't we all just can't that be a thing? Everybody gets a universal basic income of a certain amount. So it's like $1,000 a month. It's not something you can necessarily live on, but it's something to make sure that you don't fucking go become homeless, and you can keep your head a little bit above the water. And
that sounds expensive as fuck.
Well, if you just didn't give that money to corporations, if you did, because so much of that money from the government goes directly to corporations, and in the terms of breaks and shit like that. But if you just didn't give that money to corporations, and then the counter argument is like, well, corporations actually need that money, or else they have no incentive to fucking make money. But if more money is circulating the economy through the people, then they make money in the process. It's the thing with the fucking with the stimulus checks, is people are like, well, what all that money, that's gonna be kind of, or rather, the argument is, there's not really an argument, but people are like, well, there's all this money going towards corporations. If you look at how it's divided up, how that stimulus check was divided, or stimulus package was divided up, most of it ended up going to major corporations, and then a small percentage of it was that bailout towards all the American citizens. And it's stupid. It's stupid. It is as dumb as it sounds, because if you just gave people that money, the worst case scenario, Andrew Yang was talking about this on a podcast, worst case scenario is they save it. That's the absolute worst thing they could do. But it's not a bad thing if somebody saves their stimulus check. But in the eyes of the overall economy, that's the worst case scenario. Most people are not going to do that. They're going to spend it because they need to. They need to buy groceries. So if you just gave people a larger amount of money, that money's going to end up going to corporations in the long run anyway. The economy will be stimulated through people making purchases. So there's no reason to bail out corporations directly. You can just give the money to the people. They can spend it so they can have the things that they need, and then corporations still profit. Fucking doesn't make any sense the way that they're doing it right now. Joe.
Doesn't that decrease the value of a dollar by printing all this money?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know the fucking thing. Well, I really don't know, but it's. I mean, the money needed to stimulate the economy. So like that money was like that stimulus package had to happen. Like if we don't want the economy to completely collapse, the stimulus packages were necessary. Because if people cannot afford to buy anything, businesses can't afford to keep running, then they shut down, and then people don't have businesses to go to get the products they need, and so people fucking can't get the shit that they need. So you need the stimulus money to keep the economy moving, but I don't know on an economic level how that affects the value of the dollar. Obviously, it brings it down. Obviously, it's inflation to a certain degree, but I don't think it's so major that it's going to be like detrimental to the economy.
It sounds like Corona just like bent over America on like a pool table and just stuck its dick right up its ass.
Yeah, because people didn't want to listen. People wanted to keep going outside and doing things. And when state bans started or statewide restrictions started lifting slightly to say, hey, look, all right, you can go back out and do things, but be fucking careful, wear a mask, do your thing. Then you see people in droves going to restaurants maskless in like Florida and shit. And like when Disneyland or World or whichever one's in Florida opened up their doors again, the corona rates were so much higher in Florida than when they closed.
Oh my god.
Like it's just so fucking senseless. Disney to do that, it's so fucking senseless. Like I feel for the people that work at the park. That's like the only people.
That's one thing, but like
that's one thing. Those are the victims in that scenario. But Disney as a company can't afford to pay those people for the entire time that they're off, because Disney's making a goddamn fortune from all the other ventures that they're in. From Disney Plus. Disney Plus makes enough money, has made enough money during the pandemic to pay all those people 1,000 times over. So like, don't give me that bullshit of like, oh, we needed to help the employees. It's fucking stupid. They just wanted to make a couple extra dollars.
There's some people that literally love Disney World so much. Like that's their thing. Like they go every year. Like fully grown adults just like are sold this dream of magic. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like they're sold this dream of like, yeah, it's so wonderful and magical. And like, what the fuck?
I mean, look. I don't think they're sold obviously they're sold the dream. Obviously they're sold this idea that it's like Disneyland is a magical place. I've never been, so I can't tell you how awesome it is or not. But I'm sure it's awesome. I've heard it's great.
It's pretty cool.
Like I've heard it's phenomenal. But like, it creeps me out that people are
it's
like,
creepy.
oh man, the magic of Disney. Like, do you work at a fucking marketing agency? Please stop going back to a theme park as your like vacation for the year. Go explore. Go to like Europe and backpack or something. I don't know.
I'm trying not to be a stifler with Corona and people going out. I mean, but it is. I mean, because I have been for the majority of the time, mainly because I don't go out.
I don't go out at all. I don't have friends.
That's like I see. We're 22 years old, or I guess I'm 22. You're 21. Little baby, baby dick. But
you know me.
I just all over social media,
Dick McGee,
especially in the South. Like, oh my god, one of our friends whose name starts with J, he fucking works at a bar in Texas, and every weekend on his story, you just see the room fucking shoulder to shoulder packed. Like, is everyone okay there? Did everyone just already get it, and that's why they're all going out? Like what?
No, it's just they don't give a fuck. I mean, it's the same story that's been happening through all of the pandemic. It's young people, even when they get it, don't tend to die or even
that's
have
the
bad
worst
symptoms.
part. That's the thing.
So they spread it and they kill their grandparents.
It's fucked up because, like, if your mindset, if you get it and it's not all that, if you're asymptomatic or if it feels like a common cold, you're just gonna think like there's nothing to this. Like, why is everyone scared? Like, I'm just gonna go out. This is like okay. Like, this is fine. And yeah, and then we don't even know the lasting effects. We know them to a minimal degree of what potentially long-term effects can come from coronavirus, with like, either be fucking your lungs get fucked up for forever or your cognitive function gets fucked up for a year or two. Like, I don't want to be cognitively slow. I don't want to be like disorientated for a year or forever how long it might last.
Yeah,
That's
no,
scary as
I
fuck.
don't want to get a respiratory illness. Like, I don't think that's irrational.
There's people that
to
can't work
say.
out. I've heard people can't like do regular things anymore. Like, athletes cannot work out after getting COVID.
Yeah.
After it's done and they don't have the disease anymore. They literally can't fucking work out. Their lungs can't do it.
I guess we'll figure out what this is going to do in the long term, but you know, potentially it's way more detrimental than people realize, but maybe it's not. Maybe
Maybe the,
in a year after the vaccine goes through everybody, fucking turns out like it was just a time and a place, It was bad for the time and now it's going to get better. Hopefully.
I've seen some things about like what if coronavirus just hopefully maybe one day it becomes like, and this is just a scenario, but like it becomes like the flu where there's a coronavirus shot every year, just like the flu shot every year.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't doubt it either.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, but I was about to say something, but then I realized I don't have a medical degree. Fuck.
Shut the fuck up. You can say it.
No, I can't because I don't have a medical degree. I mean, I could say it, but like I'd also sound stupid, and I don't want to do that because that would be stupid. Smart.
Oh God.
I'm a smart boy. If you know anything about me, you know that I'm like super fucking smart. Like my head is just full of thoughts. You know how it is?
I know how it is. I'm fucking.
You know how it is.
I'm a
You know how it
genius.
is. Mikey knows how
I'm a
it is.
genius with a penis.
I mean, Mikey's like sort of genius. Like he's like halfway there. He's like my apprentice, sort of.
Shut the fuck up, little boy, little baby dick. Respect your elders, baby. Poo poo pee pee pants. Cock fuck.
Yeah, so he's like sort of just like you cut out on me for a second there, so I don't know what you said, but
I can repeat it if you want me to.
No, I know, I sort of know what you said. You said like Carson is way smarter than me. My name is Mikey. I'm a dummy little dumb bitch. That's what he probably said. Because he says that to me all the time. He might be posturing for the camera, but he's all the time. He's like, "Oh, Carson, like I'm such a fucking idiot. Like you are so smart.
Dumb little dick submissive cunt fuck. Who wishes
Yeah,
that I got a rod shoved up my ass every day."
Yeah, I heard that one loud and clear. That is what Mikey tells me all the time. And I'm just like, look, Mikey, you don't got to say that about yourself. It's like you don't got to be so like mean to yourself. Have some self love. And he's like, I don't deserve. Like this is a direct quote from Mikey. He'll tell you this himself. Like, I don't deserve any self love because I'm a dumb little dumb bitch boy. And I was like, okay, man, if that's how you're gonna be. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna go find some more magic rocks.
How do we get from the topic of grilled?
I don't know.
Jesus to this.
Oh yeah, this is sandwich talk, everybody. Reeling it back in. Reeling it back in. Is there a difference between a euro and a sub?
What the fuck? Oh, did you really pronounce a gyro a euro? I guess that's how it is pronounced, right?
That's how it is.
A
This
euro.
is sandwich talk. I swear to
euro.
God, Mikey. I swear to God, we are 30 fucking one or whatever episodes into sandwich talk, and you still don't know how to pronounce euro. But it is
A
confusing
euro.
though because that is a method of fucking currency. So like, what's up with that? Euros.
I mean, I'm sure it has the euro, not a euro. Not like,
Yeah, but like, do you think Europeans are saying like when they're talking about like, oh, I spent a bunch of euros? I don't think they say it like that.
no, of course not, because a euro is a sandwich and a euro is money. That's
No,
like
no. I think they
rojo, rojo.
I think they probably say like the
Robert.
money. They probably say that with the roll of the R as well, because they're Europeans and they got those European ways of speaking and ways of doing things.
There was this guy at my work, and one of my coworkers came to measure some of his stuff. He's Spanish. His name's Roberto, and the white guy that he went to the house to measure stuff. He's like, "Oh, Roberto was amazing." And I know that's not even like anything, but the way he was just like accentuating the R's, I just fucking had me rolling. Oh, please tell Roberto he did a great job. I don't know why. It just got me so good.
I'm just gonna be like pronouncing shit white as fuck till the day I die
Carson.
because I can't roll my R's. So if I see a dude named Roberto, I'm calling him,
Roberto.
hey, what's up, Roberto?
¿Cómo se llama, señor?
What did you and Maria get into last night?
I I wish I could speak Spanish. Like I can sound like I can really speak Spanish. Like, ¿dónde está la biblioteca? Porque no yo necesito un pipi.
Mikey, I'll translate for you folks back home if you don't speak Spanish. Mikey just said, I've never been to the library because I'm dumb and have a small pee-pee.
Carson is un maricón. Actually, I don't know what that means. I shouldn't say bad words that I don't.
I think that's the I think maricón is gay, right?
Yeah, you said that in the song.
Yeah, it's like a gay guy.
You said maricón.
It might be a slur though. That's like the thing. Is like I think it might be like the F word. I could be completely.
It's weird
off
with the
there.
Spanish and just like Latin American languages because I swear they all just like, puta can mean one thing to one country and puta can mean another thing to another country.
Right.
And it's just like, all right, well, I'm trying to insult you. I'm not trying to compliment you. I'm trying to say fuck you, not like you're a bitch. There's two very different meanings to that.
Yeah, that's why Italian's confusing too, because Italian's so goddamn similar. Like I heard I used to work for two Italian folks, and they would speak Italian pretty frequently to each other, and I think they were only using profanity for the most part, because like they would only speak Italian when they were like yelling at each other or getting pissed off in the kitchen. So I think if I reheard some of the words they were saying in other contexts, I'd be like, hey, that guy really doesn't like me. That guy's telling me to stick it where the sun don't shine.
And it's always cool when I always like these stories.
My anus.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's where the sun don't. I'm just clearing it up. I thought I left that out on a cliffhanger. My anus is where the sun don't. Go ahead.
Where you get the famunda cheese.
That's where you get the famunda cheese. Have I talked to you about that before, or is that something you know about?
I think I've heard of it. And then I saw your TikTok where you were like, Agent Famunda. And I was like, this motherfucker really did that.
Yeah, because I thought that was fucking... I told my dad
Famunda.
that. I told my dad that because he uses that joke constantly. It's the famunda joke. If you don't know the famunda joke, folks, it's just basically famunda cheese. You just say like... It's like, what kind of cheese is that? Oh, it's famunda cheese. And then somebody's like, famunda. And you're like, hey, yeah, famunda my balls. Hey, hey, oh, hey.
You were talking about like Joe Rogan, I think, in last podcast and how he got advertised by like Fleshlight.
Yeah.
I saw one of my favorite YouTubers today, Psych Substance, like a psychedelic awareness channel. He had a sponsorship of like Adam and Eve sex toys.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool as hell. Motherfucker. Got a nice little sex toy sponsorship. Nice.
That's probably one of the easier things, because like Adam and Eve, if you listen to traditional radio like Sirius and stuff, like Adam and Eve sponsors like crazy.
Really?
Yeah. So I think I don't think they can really do much on TV. The FCC regulations.
I can't imagine their ad being nice on TV. Like if they were to air something, they'd be like.
Right, it would have to be so veiled.
Yeah.
And but if you go on the radio, it's like, you can say a lot of crazy shit that you wouldn't be able to say on TV because the regulations aren't as strict.
Do you want your
on a
husband's
podcast,
penis
you
to
could say
vibrate?
some nut.
Yeah, you could say some crazy shit.
But that's the same reason like Manscaped, all those other shits, they're going to podcasts because podcasts are pretty unregulated. So like you could just be like, hey, we're trying to talk about this ball shaver. And it's like, could you talk about it? And then, Joey Diaz will get on a podcast and be like, and I shaved my asshole and my gooch and everything. Like, everything's fucking looking, like, smooth down
How do we get one of them
eggs.
sponsorships? Yo, we're almost coming up on a year at this podcast.
Yeah, still have no more viewers than when we started because we
have
suck.
I was thinking the same goddamn thing.
We got no viewers because we suck at this.
Dude, there's some cult followers. I fuck with people how they got a cult follower.
Yeah, the
for us.
15 people that like cult follow this podcast, you guys are the
Shout
shit.
the
Like,
fuck out to y'all.
no lie, you guys are fucking amazing. Because I don't know how. Like, I'd say probably every 5 of these, we have a real bad one. Just statistically, we'll have 4 good, pretty decent ones. Like one of those 4 will be like one I really like, and then one of them will just be a fucking shit show. Like neither of us really wanted to do it. We were just kind of like tired, or one of us was out of it, and it just doesn't come together. And I don't know how you take a podcast like this that's so fucking inconsistent and still listen to it. Like that makes me.
I think they closed out the video already by the end of that sentence you just said.
Probably, because I'm just not interesting to listen to.
Yeah,
that's what they say about me.
I'm glad you're realizing this finally. Oh my god.
Yeah,
it took you long enough.
Yeah.
Half the time when you talk on this podcast, I just think about My Little Pony.
Really?
Yeah.
You big fan?
Yeah.
What's your favorite pony?
Starfire.
Is that a real one?
I don't know.
You could have just said yes. I don't know.
I had a friend who was into My Little Pony.
I think Applejack is one. That's like the only one I've heard of. Is like Apple, because
I think Starfire is one of them.
Probably.
I don't know why I had a weird dream about Care Bears.
Wait, isn't that a fucking Transformer?
No, Starfire.
Starscream. I'm thinking Starscream.
I've never heard of that one.
Starscream is a Transformer. Fuck.
A Transformer, like someone who used to have a penis and now has a vagina.
Yeah. Like Bruce Jenner. Or Caitlyn Jenner. I apologize.
Alrighty.
Well, everybody, I guess it's been fun. I guess what the takeaway is from this is that Jimmy John's is a bunch of hacks. And once Mr. Fogel's legal team gets back to me, we can find.
You know his last name?
Yeah, Jared Fogle.
I have someone I know with the last name Fogel. No, Vogel. Never mind. They're not related.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God, because they were about to be in some hot water. But once they get back to me, we will have Mr. Jared on the podcast for some in-depth interviews.
Key takeaways is that the PB&J is the superior sandwich, probably on whatever bread you want. It's still superior. You need a lot of peanut butter, a lot of jelly.
I don't know, rye.
I've had having this low carb or gluten free bread because that's all I can eat. And so unless like I want to eat gluten filled bread, then it'll just like literally fuck my stomach from the belly button, and it just doesn't feel good.
So on most types of bread, PB&J is not great, but like on some, it's good.
Well, that's just my body. But eat a PB&J if you can. If you're allergic to peanut butter, suck it up and just eat it. It'll be worth the hospital trip.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're deathly allergic,
Yeah.
where you will die pretty instantaneously, like
Do it.
I can't think of a better way to go
Fucking
out
do
than
it.
trying something you've never tried
Do
before, like a peanut butter and jelly
Idiot
sandwich.
Do it.
If you're a video watcher of this podcast, I appreciate the shit out of you because I actually go through a lot of fucking time and effort to edit these videos together. It's not fucking easy. So like if you're still watching at this point, like I just want you to know that you are part of the Big Dick Club. Not a lot of people know about the Big Dick Club. I probably shouldn't be talking about it now because Mikey he's not hip.
You're not a part of it either, bitch.
I don't know what you're talking about. But
I put a tape measure to the ears. I've seen it. 2.5.
It's 2 3/4. So this little ditty here, this shirt, if you want to buy this shirt, it is at Mikey's website called thewidespread.com.
So is this one.
So is that one, the sponge shirt, which I actually think is like my favorite of the line. It's a pretty dope shirt. It's a patch. This one's just like a flat design. It is THE, or if you want to go completely old internet, www.thewidespread.com.
Make sure you don't stumble on any porn sites in the process.
If you do, then get it out of your system real quick and then go right on back to the widespread. And I think that's everything. Follow us on TikTok at the Let's Start Dreaming podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Wade and Lowkey, and we will talk to you guys next week.
See ya, everybody.
Bye.
Been feeling disconnected now.
I get money. No, I'm reckless now.
I get high, coming off the ground. This life is a prison, someone let me out.